What's up, folks? Thanks for checking out my channel, Big T's Recipes, and today I am making homemade chicken stock. In my very first video, which was red beans and rice, I made this chicken stock and I had a ton of feedback from folks asking about it, not realizing you could make your own chicken stock, and just how simple, easy, and delicious this is. You're gonna wanna check this out, so let's get started. Some of the benefits of making your own chicken stock is, first, it has way more flavor than what you can buy in a box or a can. Secondly, it makes a ton. You have it for 3 or 4 recipes. I use mine and keep it in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks. If I don't use it all, I store it in my freezer for about 3 months and use that for future recipes. It's already made. And in the long run, this saves me money. Remember, I said this was very easy. I'm taking one rotisserie chicken that I pulled, and anything that you would normally throw away, the bones, the skin, just the scraps, save that for the future. This is frozen. If you had a fresh one, that's fine too. I'm taking all this and going into the pot. Next step is your vegetables. I have an assortment of a lot of stuff here. Green bell peppers, red bell peppers, onions, carrots, the tips of celery, anything that you use in the kitchen. Save this stuff for later. You can use it fresh also, but this is frozen stuff that I've used. I'm going all in the pot, skin and all on your onions. Don't waste anything. This is gonna make a delicious stock. Last thing, fill your pot. Okay, so I'm just over halfway full on this stock pot. I don't measure this out. It's gonna make great stock. We're gonna go from here to our stove and bring this to a boil. Our stock is finally boiling. I only use 4 seasonings typically whenever I'm doing my stock. About a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of black pepper, teaspoon of onion powder, and a teaspoon of garlic powder, even though I did those backwards. But same, doesn't matter. And then the star of this show is this chicken base. I'm gonna start out with 2 very good helping tablespoons to dissolve. Let this mix. Get it stirred in well, and I'm gonna come check this and taste it in 1 hour to see if I need to add more chicken base. It just gives it a great chicken flavor, ton of color. You really can't go wrong or beat this stuff. So we got a bowl here. I'm gonna turn my stove to a low heat and cover it, and we'll check it in an hour. To cooking this stock. I've tasted it and it needs a little bit more chicken base. So we'll give it a nice big tablespoon. Get that mixed in. Bring it back to a boil. Once it's boiling, we'll cover it, simmer again for another hour. You always want to cook this for at least 2 hours. The longer you cook it, the more flavor it's gonna have. We'll check back in 1 hour. We've now cooked this stock a little over 2 hours. I've tasted it throughout and it is exactly where I want it. I'm gonna strain it just a little bit to show you how I strain it, and what the color looks like is just beautiful. So I have my strainer here, and I'm just gonna give a couple scoops. You don't want any of those veggies or that chicken skin in the finished product. So look at the color of that stock. That is just a ton of flavor. it just shows you how much better this is going to be than a traditional box or canned stock. Ton of flavor and very easy to make. I've got my pot moved off of the hot part of the stove. I'm going to let this cool before I transfer it to another container to put in my refrigerator. It's too hot right now. We want to let this cool. Don't want to burn yourself. Now that you've seen how easy it is to make your own chicken stock, you should have this on hand at all times. Being from Louisiana, I use this stuff all the time, whether it's in a gumbo or a jambalaya or red beans and rice or a casserole, or if you're not feeling well, just eat this as a soup. Make a chicken noodle soup out of it. It's so versatile. So make you some homemade chicken stock, have it at all times. Let me know what you think. If you play around with it, hey, shoot me a message in the comments so I can maybe try it myself. Thanks for checking out my channel. Hit that like button if you learned something new. I hope you did learn something new today, okay? I learn something new every time I make this stuff. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss Big T's next recipe.